actually been at Hydrogen for close to 4.5 years now. And I can honestly say that it has been the most inspirational 4.5 years of my life. And I say that for quite a few reasons. I joined the business as a HR BP. So I was kind of mid-level HR, came from professional services, and I came from very textbook HR organizations where it was like, this is the policy, you need to stay in the policy. And very classic HR, very, very normal, nothing really wrong with that. And then I joined Hydrogen, and that completely turned on its head in the sense that my policy book went out the door on the first day, and it was by far one of the best things to happen for my career. So at the time, I initially started off reporting into a head of HR. For whatever reasons, she then left the business, and then I actually started reporting directly into Ian, and we have had an amazing journey. He has been an amazing coach to me, kind of taken me up from HRBP to people and culture manager. So we reinvented what HR was about. We're now people and culture, a lot more culturally focused, less sort of textbook HR. Then was, amazingly moved on to people and culture manager. And we were slowly starting to build up the HR team in terms of it being a global remit. Brought on my two amazing team members, Nori and Connor, and then went up to head of people and culture. Don't know who thought that was a good idea. And then most recently, I've been absolutely delighted to, get into a position where I'm director of people and culture, which is just absolutely amazing. So forefront of, I get to do all the exciting things on the people agenda, and actually, this whole piece around, really, really, I suppose, setting the agenda on things like female leadership, making sure there's a really good sense of equality across our business, making sure that our benefits package is in place to be accommodating for that. So we had a rollout of the sabbaticals today, which is, I'm absolutely thrilled about. It's such great.
That's amazing.
So yeah, and I think from a personal perspective, it's been just such a massive eye opener. 2020 was such a great, 2020 was such an interesting year for everybody in sort of people and culture, and it came with its challenges. I was supported every single step of the way by Ian and the business, and it's just been an incredible journey. I don't think I would be where I was today if it wasn't for Hydrogen and the coaching that I've received from the business. So I consider myself very lucky. So actually, I've been probably quite lucky in my career. So some of my I suppose best mentors that I've had have mostly been male, which has been great. I got personally mentored by the global head of HR in my previous role. I reported directly into him. He was my biggest fan, which was great. Got a lot of support from him. And then obviously moving into Hydrogen, reporting directly into Ian. He's our CEO, and he has never, ever let that kind of hinder my progression. In fact, probably the opposite. He said, let's do it for the female leaders out there, which is really great. It's really encouraging. I think the other thing I'll mention is that a lot of my peer group just so happens, that they are men. And again, never have I ever felt in any shape or form that that's been a hindrance. And I also think it does strike a really good balance, because, having men and women in leadership roles, and even throughout the business, is a really key distinguisher. I think, men and women bring a very different thing to the table, and I think it's a really good balance. So to answer your question, I don't think I've ever felt that way, which is obviously great. And I think one of the things that I'm really dedicated to doing, throughout my sort of career, and some of the things that I do in my personal life are, there shouldn't be any gender stereotypes. There should be, everybody is very much down to their merit and what they add and their value. By all means, I know that it would be wrong to assume that there is not some form of bias when it comes to gender. But I think, we are taking the right steps to make sure that we're addressing that. And I'm definitely dedicated to that. So. Yeah, so actually being in the people and culture world, it's always kind of been one of these things that's been in the background. What I've actually really noticed, I would say, especially in the past 5 years, is that it's becoming even more of a hot topic in terms of, I think businesses are definitely recognizing that with diversity comes success. I can bore you with all the scientific models, which I really won't do, but there is very solid evidence that having a diverse workforce you will reap the benefits from that. And again, I see it at Hydrogen. We are lucky enough to operate across APAC, EMEA, and the US. I've also been very lucky to take a couple of trips during my time at Hydrogen, and for me, it's just been such an eye opener. I was actually raised in Saudi Arabia, and moved over to Cyprus when I was 10, so I'm quite culturally diverse, hence the very confusing accent.
Oh no.
But I think cultures for me have always been something of great interest. And I think, from a diverse perspective, it is the key. It is the way forward. It's the way forward for organizations. Why shouldn't we have all different kind of perspectives and, people from different walks of life? It's just such an eye opener. And I think for me, there's very few days where I'll speak to someone new and I won't learn something new. Be it across the different areas of diversity. I'm very lucky to have a really good sort of network around me that works a lot on sort of LGBTQ rights. My sister is part of that community, and I think for me it's been such an eye opener for what I introduce in my career, and a lot of different elements like the whole piece around the Black Lives Matter agenda. Again, things that have just been completely eye opening, and you would definitely be, I suppose, missing out if you didn't see that opportunity. So really exciting time, I think, for organizations and the people behind it.
Yeah, I think so. And everybody sees better the benefits of, definitely culture diverse teams and how everyone brings something from their culture to the table.
Absolutely. And I'll echo that in my own team. And it's fantastic. We are, I would say, a relatively diverse team, so to speak. And it really does have its benefits. It really does. I see it on a daily basis. And I also see it how our business interacts between each other. It's fascinating to watch. I've always been fascinated by, different cultures coming together and seeing the benefits from it. And I think that's probably why I enjoy my job so much, because I see that on a daily basis and I see the merits from it. So I think for me, it's, different perspectives equals success. If you're tackling, especially, I even say this in my personal life. It's been such a game changer for me. With different perspective, with an integration of different cultures comes education, growth mindset, a way forward, acceptance. Tackling biases, which is such an important part of things. But just having different perspectives, I think that for me is one of the biggest benefits that even on a day-to-day basis, an organizations face in terms of actually having that diverse piece. So I've always been a big advocate for it. Like I said, my upbringing is very much that I've kind of seen that play out in front of my eyes, and it's fascinating to watch. So great opportunities there. This is actually probably the question that I feel most passionate about. I think, one of the things that one of the ethoses that I have always taken, and this comes a lot from, I suppose, the days where I was an intern, making a couple of teas and coffees with people. I always said to myself that if you are in a position where you can offer someone the opportunity to learn, you should absolutely take that up. And I think throughout my career, I think one of the things that I've really pushed is, having an intern in place or having someone in the team where you can have the opportunity to give them that amazing experience is just so rewarding. I've seen it time and time again, and it's just such a great thing to have. And I think my biggest words of encouragement would always be, stand tall and smash through the barriers. And I think for me, thinking back to the person who finished university, quite a while ago now, if I was sat here saying to myself I'd be working for a global organization and, director of people and culture, I'd go, wow, that's amazing. And, it comes with its challenges. But I think if you have supporters and, you belong to an organization where you're able to get really good mentors, get different perspectives, and that absolutely comes with its challenges, no discussion about it. The world is your oyster. Ask for those opportunities. If you're not given those opportunities on a plate, which you probably won't be, fight for them, ask the questions, know your stuff, really, really, really persist. And most importantly, believe in yourself, because I think one of the biggest things for me as well is I have historically suffered quite a lot from imposter syndrome, and that's nobody's fault. It's just me. And just to give a download of what that is, there's that element of, do I belong here? Did I really earn my success? And one of the biggest things that, I'm really proud of Hydrogen for is they've really helped me overcome that. And they've made me realize that, I do deserve a seat at the table, and I have that seat at the table, and it's there for me to grab if I want it. Yeah. And hopefully that's exactly what I've done, which is great. And yeah, I think, for anybody who's out there and looking for that inspiration, the world is your oyster. Never take no for an answer.